Haunted Hotel is the world's most documented ongoing paranormal investigation. Everything you see is real. Viewers may find some scenes disturbing.
Life at my haunted hotel never stops, as every single day paranormal fans from all over flock to the ancient city of Chester just to step foot through the doors of this 400-year-old inn. For Harry, Brett and I, it is business as usual, and over the last couple of weeks we have captured some phenomenal moments.
So one of the most fulfilling things for me is when guests come into the pub on a normal day and things happen to them. Guys, it's Saturday, about, what time is it now, John?
It's about 20 to 6.
Yeah, about 20 to 6. And John's just had a really interesting experience about an hour ago in the toilet.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened, John.
Well, I just opened the door and drank through as usual. and as I walked in, just by the mirror, I just saw a black mat walk past me. It wasn't a figure, or it was just a black mat.
And you freaked
like
out a little bit, did you?
I did. I said, "Oh my God!" And there was a lady in the toilet, and she did witness that as well. I was like, "Oh my God!"
So as you can see, guys, it happens all the time here.
Yeah.
Another woman had her ass grabbed. Now, I haven't been that fortunate to have my ass grabbed in here yet, but it could happen. Guests are experiencing things on a daily basis in the bar. Even the guests, when these come and stay, obviously they're experiencing stuff. But what makes this place really interesting when it's empty and we're still getting them knocks and bangs and what even sounds like things getting thrown and noises, that's what makes this place so special.
I was asked to come in here and do a job, and my job is to try and move the paranormal into a new era, and an era that moves away from techniques that skeptics, scientists, non-believers in general can sit there and go, well, that's not paranormal. The time is 8:02. This is Danny in room 4, audio suite. When investigators come in here and they do a human pendulum and they do the table tipping and they do the Ouija boards, and it is all such a power of suggestion, it really stops us from progressing this investigation to where it needs to be. And that is why sometimes Harry, Brett and I just need to do our job. I have been conducting audio sweeps throughout all the sections of Ye Olde King's Head.
Danny is currently doing some audio sweeps of the building. We do these quite often, maybe once a week. He's currently in room 4 doing a little check-up there because we've had some interesting EMF readings that's a bit not normal at the minute in there. Long before I started working here at my haunted hotel, I actually had another paranormal job about 10-12 years ago at a place called Plasteig, and I actually got fired from that job for debunking multiple of the ghosts that they had there, some sort of wispy lights that I determined to be car lights, and eventually debunked their mediums, which they weren't too pleased with, so I was asked to leave. But I think that that's what a paranormal investigation is. I think that you should be looking at these things that have happened and spending until 3-4 in the morning trying to work them out until you work them out. And if you can't, then yeah, that could potentially be something paranormal.
On a weekly basis, Harry, Brett and I conduct our own investigations when there are no guests booked in. This is part of the ongoing process here and an insight into the life of a full-time paranormal investigator.
Very recently we have been witnessing some very peculiar fluctuations in the electromagnetic field, and this is spikes that haven't been caused by any radio signals, mobile phones, anything like that. We even ended up bringing the GQ EMF detector up here to try and get to the bottom of the source, and all we were getting was a static readout. Room 4 for me was always a room that I had quite fond feelings for. It sounds very strange that, but it was one of the rooms that I had a real paranormal experience here. And it was back in 2019. I was actually filming another show here, and to see something move in front of your very eyes, yes, it's a personal experience, but when you capture the sound of it moving on camera and you know that it cannot be explained, you know, it's not gravity taking course, it's not vibrations making things happen, it just happens. And this building is blessed with those types of happenings, these strange moments that science can't explain. No response. Oh my Christ, Emma, what the hell was that? The thing to note is that our language nowadays would be very different to anyone who was alive here during the 17th century or even before then. And sometimes we have to accept that, but we do believe that we have evidence of intelligent communication here in this building.
As I continue my audio sweep in room 4, Harry looks into the recent findings in room 8 and the psychological effect that the Grace doll is having on those who visit.
Room 8 feels kind of a bit of a burden to me. Grace entered the room earlier this year and kind of took over. Everyone was coming just to see Grace and not this spectacular building. She's blown me away with what she can do, but recently she's been really quiet. We had the chains rattling last week, all kind of sliding a little bit more, should I say. And obviously we have guests that come here and freak out. I think it just defeats the mind before they even gone in. For me to have the UK's most haunted item is insane. It's so weird that I tend to go in there on a weekly basis, once a week, but the smell's always different. If it isn't garlic, it's this really pungent smell in there, and if it isn't that, there's nothing at all. I can't explain that. She hasn't been playing up to me as of recent, but the smells are still there.
Can you smell that?
The Grace doll has changed this building, but not in the way you think. I don't believe it comes out of the walls of room 8. Despite people coming in here and saying, oh, Grace is affecting this, Grace isn't affecting that, we have no evidence that she's affected anywhere else in the building other than room 8. Just people are psychologically defeated before they even come into this building because of Grace.
Did you believe there were ghosts in this building? Did you use the sword in a murder and you buried it here? Did their restless soul torment you in this building, perhaps here in this very room? Is that true? Whoa. Come in, control.
Yeah, come in.
Can you just time code the last 10 seconds, please? I believe I may have just hit a spike in this audio.
It sounded very much like a male voice, but I don't want to jump to speculation just yet.
47.
Yeah, okay, I've noted that down. I'll have a check back. Are you going to carry on investigating further?
Yeah, I'll continue the investigation here and then we'll review audio shortly.
I had just heard an unexplainable piece of electronic voice phenomena within room 4, and upon review, we believe we have documented another example of intelligent communication.
We are just going through the recording from the H4 digital microphone and my audio sweep in room 4, where I believe I captured a male voice. We can now confirm we have captured this. We have two stations here at My Haunted Hotel. We have the control room, which is for all the visual stuff. We also have our audio station here where we review live EVP. We're going to play this now, and we are going to show you the enhanced version of this. Did their restless soul torment you in this building? Perhaps here in this very room, is that true? Whoa. Did their restless soul torment you in this building? Perhaps here in this very room, is that true? Whoa. Harry and I have now taken over the monitoring stage whilst Brett has moved into room 5, and this is the first time he's gone back into that room alone since he captured that picture of the mist anomaly during our horrendous lockdown.
He's had quite a few things happen in that room even before the shadow or the mist anomaly that he saw as well. I don't think that whatever is in that room doesn't like Brett.
Yeah, or vice versa, you know, if the children are there, they could really be attracted to Brett and his energy that he brings into that room.
If you're in room 5, could you show yourself, please? I'd like to know who it is that I took a photo of, or what I took a photo of. Before we even started doing this, we first put the cameras in, and I spent the night here alone in room 5, and I filmed myself doing an investigation for this purposes to see whether, you know, filming someone would work. And I had a pretty horrific night. And then a year later, we had another pretty horrific night where I, unbeknownst to me, caught this sort of smoky figure in the middle of the room, and I still don't know what it is. Is there any children that play in this room? Any children by the name Billy or Sarah? Can we hear your voice?
Brett is about to finish his session in room 5.
I know that look, Dan. You want to scare him, don't you? Okay.
Brett's gonna himself out. I'm gonna crouch down behind here. Oh my god.
We're now 16 months into the project, and the things that we have captured are unbelievable, but I think this is only just the start.
If you want to leave parcel 1. What was that? Who's that?
Something paranormal is something that we just can't explain. And when we go through 25 different cameras here and we can't explain it, yeah, I think we can call that paranormal potentially.
The Introvox device is something that we use here, which has huge benefits to the paranormal activity within the building. It uses a range of white noise and hertz frequencies which cause vibrations within the fabric of this incredible 400-year-old structure. And when you switch this device on, not only can you sometimes and quite regularly as well hear footsteps and banging, but also voices, and often intelligent voices, but as well as picking up on what could be perceived as residual conversation. This is by far the best device that we use here. Did you serve Charles Griffith? Is this his establishment, his brothel? Ladies, we have heard you many times here in this room. This is one of the only buildings I've ever investigated where it happens so regularly and it's not explainable. We're not getting this wrong. We're not doing a bad job here. It's happening. And one of the biggest things for me is the eyewitnesses. You can't dismiss almost 1,000 eyewitness accounts that something unexplainable is happening here. It's happening to real people having real experiences. It's what this whole project is built on. Ladies, we have heard you many times in this room. We hear your footsteps. We hear your voices. Oh my God.
Whoa, is that a woman's voice?
Okay, just heard a female cry. Bro, I'm not even joking, that sounded like it was from here.
I did jump. I tried to keep the camera still.
We call it the brothel section, but this whole building would have been a brothel in the area that we're actually looking at, which is 1690 to 1712. And part of our historical research into this place, you know, we have people who go through the archives here. We had a genealogist here working with us. Everyone's invested in this journey now, so there's more and more people coming forward who have done their research, and they're actually helping Harry, Brett and I with this ongoing investigation, because we do need to match names to try and trigger the activity here, whether they are still present in this building. We just don't have the evidence to suggest that, but we do have what would be perceived to be female activity here. Madam, can we see you, please? Can you walk through this doorway here? Why do you cry? Is it correct that you lost a child here? Your child was taken away. You were forced to give your child.
I can hear knocking in there now. I can hear knocking inside the room with them.
Just heard a bang. Did you hear that? Where did that come from?
Either above us or behind the bar, I'm not sure. There's another one there.
That was a very interesting session. Not only did we manage to hear a female voice, almost as if she was crying, but the Hertz frequency, the Intravox device, seemed to have an effect on the building. We could hear banging on either this floor or above. Oh my God. Just heard a bang.
There's another one there.
You want to stay at the world's most haunted hotel?
Join the team here for your very own overnight paranormal investigation like no other.
We have cameras covering every angle of this building. If something happens, it's captured.
Book now at myhauntedhotel.com. What is that?
What was that? We'll see you soon.
As our investigation falls quiet, Brett moves to room 6, where we are starting to document patterns by the window area. This all began a few months ago when we captured this unexplained anomaly in the window, and ever since, knocking and tapping has been heard on the window itself. Meanwhile, Harry is in the downstairs bar after an unusual spike in eyewitness accounts in recent weeks.
Recently, we've had tapping on the window and all sorts of different responses. It's quite interesting to hear about this Heidi we've come across before. This name Heidi keeps coming up. And I was actually there when some other investigators discovered the name Heidi. And then later on, we found it a couple of weeks later. It's really nice to see that sort of correlation of evidence. Now, if you can hear anything currently tapping very frequently, I've got the tri-field device over there that should measure anything interesting, and I really want to see now if we can get this window tapping. Recently a debunker was in here, had the window tapping. We've heard of loads of different, frankly quite ridiculous explanations of what could have been on. We've heard some theories like there's been someone with weights for fishing wire, and fishing wire where someone is hidden in a, quote, remote location above the hotel. And that was the tapping, really specific. I might as well have a look and actually show what's actually out here. There's the bathroom, and that is the window to room 7, the museum, and I can show you there's no remote location. It's just the sky is above where I'm sat.
He's actually got the camera outside of the window right now, trying to prove this point, which is great.
I'm sitting in this particular area because back in about 2015, a gentleman who used to come here quite often took a picture on this little plinth here where the beam is, and there's a hand on it, and it's a really cool picture, to be fair. We have a GS2 with a laser grid here, so if any shadows walk past at any time or anything interrupts it, we should see it on the camera up here.
Why are we hearing things around this window?
Sounded like very light footsteps upstairs then. And there's creaking upstairs as well. If there's somebody upstairs, let me know you're here. Walk across a bit louder for me, please.
I can hear some knocking, but I'm not sure where it's coming from.
Whoa!
Currently, Harry, I think, is downstairs in the bar. Danny is watching in the control room, overseeing everything.
I'm hearing footsteps again.
We believe these footsteps are happening near to room 6, but it is only Brett's camera's audio that picks them up, and what happens next may indicate that something is present within this area.
I can hear some knocking, but I'm not sure. This is spiking up slightly to 0.8. 5, 12, yeah, I'm just going to step back to make sure this isn't my camera. Yeah, it's going a bit nuts there. Who's by the window?
We are getting massive spikes on that tri-field meter.
The name Heidi has been brought up here. Is there a Heidi? Still some random spikes there going up to some pretty high numbers. Can you show yourself? Did you jump out of this window? Why would you jump?
Unexplainable thuds in room 6 and huge spikes on the tri-field meter.
Why would you jump?
Meanwhile downstairs, Harry conducts a lone vigil in the ladies' toilets, the oldest section of the building dating back to 1208.
The tri-field meter's now levelled out. It was like here.
Okay, Brett is hearing movement in the room.
That actually got me there. That's you, and you can hear me. Thank you for trying to communicate. Can you tell us who you are, please? It makes you kind of think, is there something watching now that we just can't see? Who knows?
More and more people in the coming years are going to come and have these experiences. The activity isn't just going to stop. It's not going to go away. It's not going to follow people home, which is another Hollywood theory that people have latched onto and believe because they see it on TikTok and they see it in the movies. This is real life. This is real paranormal activity.
A lady called Jam entered the toilets on Saturday and freaked out. Another woman witnessed her screaming and she was shaken up. She saw a shadow figure pass behind you. Normally they see them pass, the shadow figure pass around here. Believed to be a little girl or a woman.
We have been hearing knocks and bangs almost daily in this room for 16 months. But not only that, we have letters, handwritten letters of people that were staying in this very hotel 14 years ago saying exactly the same thing. Back when this was just the King's Head, it was just a normal hotel that you would stay at in the middle of the city of Chester, and we still hear the same things now.
I ask anyone to come towards me now, move in front of this camera, this red light. Now there's a little tap behind me then. Sounded like it came through in this room. It freaked me out a little bit, to be honest. Can you do that a bit louder, please?
We are unable to document any further activity for the remainder of the investigation.
We just finished our investigation and it's been an interesting one, actually. We have caught a few different things. The kind of tapping and stuff in room 6 was interesting. Didn't capture anything on the full spectrum camera, which is annoying after the last time, but we can just keep trying. It's another day at My Haunted Hotel.
That's another week at My Haunted Hotel, and we await to see now what happens over the weekend, or whether Harry sends us anything in, anything that gets captured on the cameras, any guests down in the bar having an experience. It's been an interesting one. You know, there's guests are witnessing things here all the time, but 90% of it we're able to debunk. It's the 10% that we can't is interesting, but it's now building on that and trying to work out the patterns behind it. We continue.
It's always an interest to me when Danny and Brett go at night time, not because they actually annoy me, but I love them to bits. But when you're in the building on its own, you know there's no sound pollution whatsoever other than outside. So if I hear anything in the building, it could be very weird. So I'm going to lock up now, guys. Thank you and good night.
Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday the 23rd of August. You'll have to excuse me, I am absolutely shattered. I've only had about 3 hours sleep, and we are actually right in the middle of the edit for this YouTube episode that you're all watching right now. Now, last night we were at My Haunted Hotel conducting the usual My Haunted Hotel experience. We had 4 rooms in last night, and about halfway through, something completely gobsmacking happened, and it happened in the upstairs corridor. Now, we reviewed all the footage. We don't have the footage on us now, but we have something better, which is the raw footage filmed off the actual control room computers on my mobile phone. Brett and I were actually reviewing the footage as it happened last night. It's worth noting that you can hear this happen in every single room on the upper top floor, but it is loudest in the corridor camera just outside of room 8. Take a listen to this.
Oh my
It's there, isn't it?
What the Where's it even come from?
That's the best we can find.
Oh my
It's there, isn't it?
Now, all the guests that were there last night heard this woman screaming, and Brett and I immediately reviewed everything. We didn't hear it downstairs in the control room, but 2 of the rooms radioed in to tell us. We checked it back immediately. We tried to isolate the source of it, and as I've said, it is loudest on the main corridor camera. pointing down with room 8 on your right hand side. This is just another fine example of the direct voice phenomena that occurs within this building. It's nothing intelligent. We believe this is a residual manifestation just occurring, maybe something to do with the date last night, maybe the time, we just don't know. It is business as usual at My Haunted Hotel as the world's most documented ongoing paranormal investigation continues. And with spooky season fast approaching, what else will our cameras capture?